We are live. There you go, man.
Thank you.
Testing, testing.
Low 8 MP is you know
Is
that
that-
Latin thing they have for placeholders?
Oh yeah, in the. So I think. Oh yeah, you have it backwards.
Alright, there we go.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yay!
Cool. Yeah.
Sure, feel free to. Try it!
Drag.
Ah. Dra. Yay.
All right.
Okay, no problem. We'll
I'm
dance.
just gonna play through some stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
so-
play some.
We're gonna answer questions,
Yes.
but
Yeah. I'll skip over the ones that are too crazy. Yeah, don't worry about it.
yeah, I'm supposed to be like sitting here, right?
Do you want to look over these right now on my phone?
Oh, what's up with the?
And like
Oh,
push
you-
this back. Oh, did I move it forward?
I
Oh
don't
my
know,
gosh.
It just.
Ah. Yeah. Okay.
Actually, it's a little better if we. Actually, no, it's fine.
All right. Yeah.
The wires are a bit. Yeah. I wish I could like just get a bit more reach on this thing, so I could like lay back, you know. Gonna play the bad content.
Are we live?
Oh yeah, we live.
I think we
No,
are.
we are. Yeah, we just started it to just get people to come in and stuff.
Okay, yay. Hey
Yeah.
guys, how's it going? We're here on the
Hello,
second day of
viewers.
PlayStation Experience here at the Moscone Center in San Francisco, California. I'm here once again with the lovely Anton here playing with the DualShock 4 controller, Dream's PS4. We have a fantastic level here, and it's already a big tease because you can already see a portal, you don't know where that's going to go to, and then you can see this familiar mosquito that's been through the many live streams from yesterday through Anton's and
Yeah,
John's
we're just
efforts.
gonna play through some of the different bits and show it around. But actually, the reason we're doing this stream is to kind of finish off some of the questions Danny had from the
Yes,
DreamBubble
that's
community.
right. We have a
So-
whole bunch of questions. Many of the molecules are kind enough to answer to me, and I thought it'd be really great to ask other molecules too, so we can get their own perspective of how dreams will play out based on those questions I'm about to ask them.
Yeah.
So just let me
do
load up
it.
the Let's get the questions up right now on DreamBubble.
In the meanwhile, I could just play with some puppets.
A mech in a blocky world. That's amazing. Dude, a monster mash. Awesome. All right, so this was the first question we kind of touched base upon right before you had to go to your panel yesterday, Anton.
Yeah.
One of the question, I guess we'll repeat it again for the new viewers here today. Will facial animation be possible? The expressions in
Yeah,
dreams?
we're definitely looking at different ways of doing it. We don't know exactly which way we're gonna do it yet. Kind of the direction we're taking with all of the animation is puppeting. So whatever it is, it's gonna be very like performance driven. So think like Muppets, puppets, Henson style kind of thing. And I think there's different techniques of doing it. Obviously, like we do a lot of our just general performance using motion, but the face has lots of bits. So,
Definitely.
things like analog sticks or buttons will be really useful for that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just experimenting with lots of different stuff, but yeah, we'll definitely have something.
Definitely, yeah. I noticed from yesterday too. I remember I saw Maja, who was and people, the Fun Bits folks who were making Fat Princess, they were zooming into the face, doing all that little detail too.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of cool to see that happen with like facial animation and stuff like that. But pretty like exquisite, and the scaling's like it's really crazy. Will there be lip syncing sort of to the animation question?
So the imp has like a basic form of lip syncing. So hello. Oh, you can't. Let me just draw a little mouth. Hello. So
Bonsoir, party.
that gets
Little
yeah.
reference.
So that gets picked up from the PlayStation Eye camera or a headset if you have one plugged in. So we use that mostly for communication. So you can when you see other imps in your world, you can see their mouth move, and it's like you can hear the audio. So we could use a similar style tech for whatever puppeting of the face we do. I think that's kind of like a slam dunk, but I think it's more important to figure out how the actual face is going to be configured, like how are we going to do the mouth moving, the eyes, and all of that. And once we have that sorted out, I think some of the other tech can sort of be worked out.
Awesome. Here's another question, a bit slightly away from the animation stuff. Will characters be allowed to have different sound effects to them, or different audio files, multiple audio files?
Yeah, so like obviously if you have like a tall, lumbering character like this one over here, like you'll want him to be stompy and kind of heavy sounding, or like this guy, you want to have, you know, suit of armor kind of rustling as you go. So yeah, we definitely let you configure kind of sound effects, or like Foley effects, as audio people call them.
Yep.
But we haven't shown very much on audio yet, so it's a little bit hard to talk about it. So once we show the audio for music and stuff, we'll start with that approach, and then we'll show you guys how effects and stuff are wired up.
Really excited to see that. Will we have the options to export our videos in HD and not just export to YouTube or SharePlay?
I'll have to ask Alex on that one. I think so. Like the videos that we did for the original E3 trailer, you know, we exported those.
Oh wow!
Stuff, right. So like all the videos that were on stage, you know, they were game footage. So yeah, it's a. I mean, what's wrong with YouTube is just the compression. Is that the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty cool now that we have the 1080, 4K, and the 3D viewing and stuff like that. It's pretty crazy.
Oh, I see. So I mean, like the live share functionality is lower res than the actual screen, right? So it's like 720p 30. So we'll definitely be able to export to YouTube at like, you know, whatever the native revs of Dreams is. But it's more of a question of like higher than that. We don't really know exactly yet.
Will there be transparent objects with reflections for Windows and etc. Right now, I saw you guys had added that new feature today in yesterday's build. It made everything all glossy and stuff like that.
Yeah, we just added glossiness and things like that. But for things like transparency, we actually all of the brushstrokes are semi-transparent. They're like a little bit dithered. So some people have been using brushstrokes in a light way to do glass, similar to kind of how Minecraft does it in a way.
Yep.
But like in a painterly way. So we'll start with that and see how far that takes us, because, you know, kind of full-on transparency is, you know, it's just another thing to do, like glassy shaders and stuff like that. But you can get quite far by doing brushstrokes with like metallicness for the glints. So yeah, that's, in short, like we can do lots of materials like water, glass, and all of that stuff, but all of them just take time, so we just have to prioritize and see which ones are sort of the most bang for the buck.
Yeah, so like, you know how you had the stabilizer to do precise placing objects, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Can you use the same thing for painting to see how heavy you want the dab to be when you put the paint on the object, or can you, like...
Oh, yeah, so we have different paint modes. We have pressure-sensitive paint modes that, you know, use the pressure sensitivity. We have ones that are kind of opacity pressure, so... you know, it's not the thickness that varies with the pressure, it's the amount of paint gets put down, so you can kind of slowly layer paint on, for example. So yeah, there's a lot of sort of pro features you can use by using the analog.
So it's for everybody, you know, professionals and beginners too. You all have fun either way using the painting tool. It's kind of cool though, because you can make the Mona Lisa in like 5 minutes, where the actual painting probably took like hours.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these models didn't take very long to make, just because, yeah, like, you know, all the painting on this guy, for example, on the arms and stuff, that was all done with the tool, and you could see kind of soft stuff on the horns there in the red, and then you see the really hard paint on the stencil-looking bits on the arms. So
it's a lot of detail, too. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, and, you know, obviously, if you look at the mech,
wow,
there's lots of painting detail, and we've got the 3D print of the mech over there. So
oh,
really
yeah, I
see,
think
like,
it's beautiful.
The airbrushing and stuff like that.
No, did you guys paint that mech on the real life?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So John Beach, who made that mech in Dreams, then 3D printed it and then
3D printed it. It's like 1 more ratio of the painting too. It's pretty incredible. even not in the game, you guys like do a fantastic job. But yeah, show it on stream. Let's talk about it. Show it. Very delicate, but very awesome. That's it right there. If you can see it.
From the. So this was 3D printed and then hand painted by John, who's like.
It's really cool.
Who's really an excellent sort of.
Yeah.
Miniature model painter, so
It's really
Yeah.
cool. Do that little twist 360 turn, like a little pageant right there.
See, yeah, the back is actually really interesting. I don't want to drop it. The back has tons of detail on it.
A lot of detail. Must have
So
took.
this is actually, I just realized, this is the light version of the mech. I don't have the heavy one 3D printed. It's in the other
Oh my
room.
gosh, that's amazing.
But this is the one that we showed off earlier. But he did like a series of them. So this is the kind of scout one, and the one that's the biped is the heavy version. It's got like the big guns on it.
Well, kudos to John. If
Yeah.
you're seeing this, kudos. You did a very great job. Can't wait to see what else you do and 3D print and stuff. You could have your own little robotic army next to your desk or something. I don't know, whatever you want. Will objects, color properties changing be something that can be animated?
Yeah. So basically, the short of it is that oh cool, we can have the toast come out.
Oh,
behind the-
Toasty. I Am Bread. Have you played that game yet?
No, I
It's
haven't. played
amazing,
that,
and
but-
this reminds me of it. Like, what happened on the head? Did you get hit by a pan? I don't know. I just felt kind of
Oh,
right
it
about
might
that.
be just baking error.
Oh, okay. No, it's perfect. It's like a little touch of toast. Okay.
Yeah, so basically the way the animation works is that anything you do in the editor is recorded. So when you scale an object, that can be recorded. When you paint an object, like colorize it, change the metal properties or whatever, all of those things are basically considered editor actions.
Mm-hmm.
And animation is just recording editor actions over time. So I say just like in the sort of easy way. That's just what it means for programming. It actually is kind of difficult to implement. But the reason we wanted to do that is to make it so that once you learn the editor,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to learn a whole new set of animation tools.
Mm-hmm.
You just, do those things, but you perform them as you do them.
Yeah.
So it actually, it's to reduce, make the tools essentially more powerful. And it also allows you to do some interesting stuff. So like, I'm puppeteering this bread right now.
Walking bread.
Walking bread. And like I can use the analog sticks, I can jump with the bread and all of that.
Is it
so-
doing gymnastics?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
in a
amazing. It's like, wow.
So all of the stuff, as I'm doing it, I could be recording it.
Yeah.
So I don't have to learn like how to do a walk cycle. I don't have to learn how to,
You just need
move
to
hands.
perform
I
it
can
with your
just-
hands.
I could just
Yeah.
perform it and just turn the record button on, and this is it. So if you could play a game, using analog sticks, you can record a performance like this.
That should be a GIF, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it will play back for you. And you can edit the recording too, whenever you
Yeah,
want.
and you can edit the recording and you can layer animation over it. So you could do like a really basic thing by saying, okay, I'm going to just walk the bread over here. And then you can say, okay, pause there. And then pop out of there and then switch the camera angle. And then, switch it to that. And then
Wait, we can animate the camera too?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
All the bits. Yeah, basically you can animate any property of any object. So
Oh,
I
so
mean,
not just the characters,
more
but
or less.
anything at all. Like
Yeah,
even
yeah.
like as a camera, I don't know if you can
and the
talk about
camera
it
is
yet.
just an object in the
It's an
game. So
object,
you can just
okay.
animate it just by, moving it and flying it around.
That's amazing. That's so easy to use.
Yeah, yeah.
I kind of see how you mean the performance stuff based on dreams. Like you literally make everything in performance. Like if you want to code like the path that you want the camera to do, now you can just move it around, make your own cinematic Transformers movie with all action packed
Exactly,
stuff.
yeah.
It's easier that way. Believe it or not.
Yeah,
It just hit me. Wow.
Yeah, so that's the kind of big idea is that everything in dreams, like you can take a light and you can, if you just want some light sway, you just grab the
move around
light
the
and
light.
you just sway it a little bit.
I can tell away
and
with
leave
the
it on
light
two.
from the DualShock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
so that's where we're leveraging all of that.
Everything's performance based. Wow. Okay. All right. We talked about the camera a bit. What are some cool stuff you can do with the camera? I don't know if like some 3D depth or like stuff like that, filters, stuff like that. Is there anything like that in Dreams?
You mean
or
the camera? Oh, the
3D camera itself. Yeah.
the camera itself. We're not showing it right here, but there is a depth of field effect.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to see a little bit in the background. It's
Like
a bit
right
subtle.
over there. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can kind of crank it up to do almost like tilt shift style-ish stuff, like very strong depth of field. There is a whole suite of color grading that we
Ooh.
haven't shown yet. So those of you familiar with like kind of color correction tools that there's in the film industry, there's stuff like that. We're still iterating on the kind of final tools that we have, but it should be at least as powerful as stuff that you can do in like Photoshop, where you can change and tint. So a lot of these levels, the look of them comes from the grading of the levels. So this one kind of has like a neutral, cool feel to it.
Yeah.
Like a bit of a purple tint, and all of that is coming from the lighting setup and the grading setup. So The color grading definitely helps. There's obviously bloom control, so like the bloom you see on the mech and the lens flare that you see. So those are camera effects that you'll be able to control, so you can say, you know, how much bloom and how much lens flare you want. Vignetting on the camera, so you can kind of make it almost like a toy camera, bringing the vignette in.
That's really cool.
So yeah, just lots of film grain, you know, yeah, basically stuff that you would expect from a traditional post-production pipeline.
Wow.
In a kind of in a regular kind of pro game, then you would have a post pipeline that you can
So
do.
the way I should think about it is that think of every single tool a game engine has, right? Every single tool it has, and how they make you use that tool. But now in Dreams, like if you have that tool, you just say, oh wow, how do I have to do all of this stuff just to use these tools? No, just think of it as like, oh, it's performance based, so I'll just move it around. There you go. No more tutorial for me. I'll just do whatever I want.
That's the idea. So
yeah, it's like it's genius. It's really genius. Will there be cloth simulation? Like keep flowing in the wind or a flag waving through the.
You should ask Alex. I don't want to put any words in his mouth.
Oh no, yeah.
But right now there isn't. There is like some kind of flappy simulation on the grass. Let me show you that.
Oh, that's right. John showed me that yesterday too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we actually still have a grass module. So you can see this grass. It's not just animated. If I hold it still, it's fine, and if I shake it, it does have physics behavior on it. So it's quite light. But I wonder if I could stamp the grass onto the characters. Huh. So yeah, I bet if you stamp the grass on the characters, it will.
So like a sticker, a little bit planet. You can stick on like the.
Yeah. So if you just stick it onto the puppet, then you will actually get like flowing.
If you do that in a dream, will it like stay on there forever, or will it completely reset when you come back?
So on this one, since this is like the show build, we actually can't modify it just so that we don't screw stuff up on the fly. But if I make like a new level, I just don't know what that thing is called. I wonder what it's called. Maybe I could find it.
Oh yeah, that's another good question. The saving progress. Like, can you save what you've done in a dream, like when you play against it, or like kind of like you go into another dream, you come back, will everything be saved for you? Like
yeah, that's the plan. Basically, like if I do, there is no real saving. So like, let's say I want to make a new character. Here's a new character. I'll plonk it down, and I'm just gonna kind of move the arms around a bit, etc. And I say, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go. Actually, I want to see what that other dream looked like. So I didn't have to hit any saves. I go to one of these levels. I can go into any of these levels that we've shown before. And if I go back, you know, we have a quick way to get to the last thing you're working on, and you're just right back where you started. So everything is kind of auto-saved without you having to worry about it. Let me see if I can find some grass. Search. So this is the question.
The wonderful database of awesomeness.
Can we find the grass?
That's We should search for like random stuff to like see what we can do with them. It'd be pretty cool.
Maybe. No, this is the static grasses.
Grass.
Yeah, there's lots of grass, but it's not the grass that I want. So.
Yeah. There's a lot of grasses though.
But yeah, basically, if you were to put the grass on like the head or the hands or whatever, it would behave kind of like hair. So that's some way towards some simulating of some kind of cloth-like thing. But to do like a full cloth sim, maybe we'll do it in the future. It's not like a
was that the library to the right that you used at that Paris Games Week?
Yeah.
The one you tried to clone and you're trying to Good times.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to point that out. We saw modeling including both soft and hard blending. Can that be preserved for animation as well to simulate blobby things moving and morphing, or simply human flesh?
Probably not, to be honest. I think the blobbiness is quite expensive to do as an animation pass.
Yeah. I know that painting.
Yeah.
So the site.
Yeah, the cool thing about this painting is it looks like a painting in 2D, but actually when you start walking around it...
LOL, nope, 3D, got you.
It's like fully 3D, so...
Oh no, what happened?
Oh, it's very 3D.
Whoa, okay.
Off script now.
Okay, Pear, run away, nothing to see here. Go Pear.
Yeah.
Oh, you can reset a dream too by touching the button. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you could rewind and replay and all of that stuff. So, yeah. So on the blobbiness stuff, I think like we're not sure. So it's expensive, but you can do it to some degree because obviously when we do blobby edits,
Yeah.
you know, we're able to preview those edits and stuff. So you could, you know, it's fast enough to do in real time.
Yeah.
But when you're doing like hundreds of them in real time, then that can get slow. So we're not really sure where the cutoff is yet, but it's quite interesting to do it. The animation style that we're going for, though, is very much like about puppeteering.
Yep.
So it's less about the kind of smooth, you know, what they call skinning in the game industry, and more about these puppets.
Mhm.
The puppets, in a way, give you a lot more character because there's lots of human motion in it. Whereas the things that are very loose and amorphous, they have a different look. So I think we might do it later, but I don't think we'll do it right away.
Yeah.
What was the other part of it? I forgot. So it's like
Oh, sorry. Simulate blobby things moving and morphing, or
like
simply
flesh.
human flesh. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, there's lots of characters in the game that we've shown that have like a fleshy look to them, but it's more like wood puppets, things like that.
Mhm.
So it's sort of like painterly rather than literal. Yeah.
I love how the pair has glasses. It's like the perfect touch. If you go back in time and tell the person who designed the original painting to put glasses on the pair. That's like hint in the future. It's amazing. Well, there'll be water simulation. Now we talked about this quite a bit the last
we
time
talked
with the
about it last
painting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna start with painting and see where we go
Yeah.
from there.
Here's one I also asked before. How diverse can skyboxes be? Can they not be loose? Can they be tight? Can they be realistic?
Right now, all of our skyboxes are like a painterly look. You can change them, and one of the things I'm working on in the background is being able to paint on the skyboxes.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know yet how tight we'd want it to make it.
Yeah.
One of the things in our game is that the lighting is actually impacted by the skybox. So a lot of the subtlety in the lighting that brings it all together is coming from the fact that we pull color from the skybox as well. So in a way, you want it to be a bit looser just so that the lighting is... I mean, the lighting will work regardless, but I guess my point is that if you have too much detail there, it might start to not look as painterly in a way. Kareem would be a much better person to explain this whole
I talked to
philosophy.
Kareem, by the way. He's a fantastic dude, guys. He has so much passionate and unique vision on art.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He did a stream, actually. Well, a demo, actually, over there at the place where he made a dragon thing, the winning drawing. He was amazing at it.
But yeah, I think the way to think about skyboxes in this game is it's more like a mood. And a lot of the levels, actually, the skyboxes don't play a very big role. Like you can see,
off screen.
you can see like the skybox is barely visible outside, but because you're inside,
Yeah.
it's cool carpet on the ground there. But
I love it too.
yeah,
He's like fur. You can like. Imagine with the camera, you can like feel the fur and the fur moves. That'd be really cool. Wait, will there be camera interactivity, or is that like something you
not right
want to
now.
experiment with? Oh,
Probably
okay.
just we have enough controllers to support at the moment. But I think, yeah, I think for the skies, it's definitely, if people are interested in things like, you know, hard edged skyboxes, we could look into it. But I think a lot of the sky backgrounds people have been doing with just really loose, actual rigid sculpts that they've done. So like the cityscapes, the reason there's buildings in the background, it looks tighter than the skybox, but it's actually just sculpts that are put far away.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have a lot of flexibility of making backgrounds in a way.
It's really cool. I like how when you move the cursor, the blue trace, like, is that like a color you can customize as well? Like
Yeah. The color of the imp. I mean, we haven't shown it yet, but there's going to be, you know, a full suite of sort of imp customization. So
it's really
gonna
cool.
be
Can you make it like a
yeah.
cursor on the computer too, if you wanted? That'd be so
Hand or
funny.
yeah.
Or like have a little avatar. Yeah. At what point did dreams become dreams? Like, what engine? Like, when the engine was built, how did you know what you wanted to make, and how did you decide to go with it? Like, I know you guys built it since 4 years ago, 5 years, like the very early planning, and you've been through a lot of make this, redo this, make this,
Yeah.
improve that. If you want to talk about that briefly.
Well,
Oh, there we
you
go.
know-
There's me talking about it through the imp. If the imp is interested too, there we go.
I mean, you know, I started on the project about a year and a half ago now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been kind of hanging out with Media Molecule for a while before that when we were discussing stuff with moves and DualShocks and stuff. So I wasn't part of the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know exactly when like, for as long as I've known, people have called it dreams.
Yeah.
Because that's just like, it just sounded like the coolest title, but for a while we weren't actually sure we were going to get the title, and then we did, and everyone was really happy. So I think it was kind of, at its core, it really always was Dreams, because it just fit so well, you know, making your own dreams come true.
Yeah.
But as we know it, like as it looks now, I think the latest big breakthrough, you know, in the grand scheme of things, was like the Splat engine coming online and giving it this unique aesthetic.
Yep.
Because for a long time it was just the hard modeling, and although that has a cool look to it, it really wasn't quite enough for us to bring all the content together.
Yeah.
And it wasn't enough to give everybody, like, you could see people's creativity come through, but it wasn't to the extent that we're getting now. Like, this is very obviously a Menlu level, and other levels are very obviously John.
I want to meet him one day. Yeah, I want to like see them like jam together, see what they make together. Maybe in one of your live streams.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal. So I think really at where it sort of started off, in my opinion, was like when we finally saw it. And
well, I
said,
did not see that coming. I did not see that drawer at all. That's really wow. So many surprises. It's really crazy, especially in the main story mode. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think where it's really sort of felt like, yeah, this is the look and the feel that we want to ship, is really when the Splat engine came online. And it's gotten better over time, and we've added, you know, puppets recently. Puppet creation has really helped us.
Hi, Bear. Yep.
So yeah, so it's kind of been in the last year and a half, things really coming together.
Definitely, like every single time I see you guys stream it, you guys always come up with something new, something interesting to see. The thing about your game is that it never gets boring. Like all the other games, you can play for like 2 or 3 hours. Hey, you actually beat it or something. But this, you can just come back to it and get to see something new every single time. And if you see like stuff that's copyable and stuff like that, that's perfect, because it's all about remixing and mashing together.
Yeah.
So it's being encouraged instead of not being encouraged.
Yeah,
so I don't see how anything could go wrong.
So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
It's actually really cool. Now I know you guys talked about this briefly at Bears Games Week and other places, but we heard that you can export our creations through a certain format, like in a zip file through a Dream-based website. I'm not sure about that. I could be wrong, but and you can export it and you can import it into your 3D printers, to engines. You know, like not just Unity but Unreal, like anything that welcomes files to be imported.
Yeah. So there's definitely an export path. Alex talked about it. You know, that's how we've been doing the 3D prints. So like everything we can do, you guys will be able to do as well. So the same stuff that allows us to export to 3D printing is the same stuff that ends up, you know, you can use to import into an engine. So we don't know exactly which, you know, the exact file formats that we support. Like the easiest one for printing, the most standard one is OBJ. You know, and then you can use that elsewhere. But there's other like more esoteric formats that potentially allow us to do better printing or better import. So kind of stay tuned.
Yep.
Just isn't fledged yet, but when it is, we'll definitely.
I know in the last live stream, John Beach mentioned something. Like you guys were asking a question. Johnny, sorry.
Yeah, that's John E.
John E. Not
yeah,
John
we
Beach?
have a lot of.
Oh.
We have a lot of name duplication now.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. It's really confusing. So John Eckersley is the guy who did the forest, and John Beach does the mechs. So John Eckersley tends to do the more kind of loose painterly stuff, and John Beach tends to focus on like the really hard modeling, mechanical kind of bits. But they kind of both change up. So like John Beach did the most painterly city.
Yeah.
And John Eckersley has done really tight kind of sculptural forms as well. So like it's just everyone switches. So it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Who's who, but yeah.
Okay. One of the Johns mentioned your last live stream. Something about how many dreams you can make is about how fast you make them, and everything's being stored on a server. It's all gonna be cloud-based. So, do you think like there's gonna be a limit to how much you can make, or you can just dish out as many as you can?
No, just go. Don't worry about it. Yeah. The one of the nice things about Dreams is that the file format is very compact. So we can actually store. You know, we brought that little server with us.
Oh yes, the
little ones, and we've been, you know, we use this for trade shows because we don't want to worry about connecting with wireless.
I got the touch when it was awesome.
Yeah, so like we just bring them with us, and those little servers have all of the dreams we've ever made on them.
Yeah.
So I don't know how big it is currently. I think maybe a few gigs, really, but it's like 15,000 dreams, I think. So it's quite a lot.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Awesome. Is there much difference between the controller standard and the move controller?
Is there what?
A standard between the controller and the move controller, like the
Like
controls for sculpturing.
Yeah,
Well, it looks
yeah.
really cool. It reminds me of Life is Strange for some reason, like the kind of character look. But
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, all the sculpting and performance and stuff capabilities are the same for both of them. The UI is a bit different, laid out, just because the ergonomics of the controller is different. But yeah, the capability is basically the same. So yeah, you can sculpt with both the moves and the DS4. The moves tend to be more like freeform in the flow that you get from it. So like it's a lot easier, for example, with the moves to kind of place a block here, here, here. So you can be kind of more physical and tactile with it.
Yeah.
And the DS4, though, has the advantage of like the touchpad, so it's quite easy to rotate objects. So it kind of depends on what you prefer. If you like a very tactile feel, and you really just kind of want to move and go, then you use that. But if you prefer like more precision and less motion, you can use the DS4.
Okay.
Should we like blast through a bunch of the other ones?
Yeah, I can ask a few more actually.
Yeah,
A
let's
couple
go.
more left. We have to wrap up really quickly. All right. VR. You guys are experimenting with it now.
Yep.
Hopefully, we can see more of it in the future.
Yep.
Will there be DLC? Yes. No. Maybe.
That's TBD.
All right. How many people can be in a session, a single session? Like, is there like a big canvas you can all create in?
Don't know yet. We have right now. There's no limit in the code. If you do too many, who knows what happens? We haven't tested it.
Okay. Will there be voice acting?
Huh?
Will there be voice acting?
Voice acting.
Yes.
Don't know. We'll talk about the audio more at future shows with music and sounds and stuff. So I think we'll just defer that till the audio reveals.
Okay. I'm looking through them really quickly. Can you give any details about the story? Like, I know Alex briefly hinted once in one of the interviews that it's about you guys are making characters, you get to go into their dreams. I'm not sure if you guys
That's
can talk
about
about that yet.
that's about as far as we've got. Not honestly. I mean, we have obviously a lot of story that we've fleshed out and thought about. But the way we're approaching it is really like a game jam almost. So we're making the tools, and whatever stuff we make as we go, we sort of adjust. So the reality of it is that we're working on it, but we don't like if we could tell you exactly what the story was, we probably would, but we still need to kind of play around with it and figure out
It's
what
gonna
the
be
best
different for
ideas
everybody
are.
because it's dreams.
Yeah,
after
so
all, yeah.
but it'll be good. So
All right.
that's it.
Next year, early next year, hopefully there will be a beta. Stay tuned for more information about that. Anton, once again, thank you so much for doing the
thanks for
interview.
stopping
Really
by, man.
appreciate it.
Thanks for all the questions, everyone.
Oh,
too.
you're welcome. Anytime, buddy. I can see a painting right there in that dream from.
Yeah, so check
Oh,
this
you can
out.
imagine if you can jump into the painting and go into that painting, into
You
that
can.
next. There's so many. Oh, you can zoom into. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aha.
Wow.
There you go. That's what portals are all about.
That's a perfect ending right there. Hooray! All right, thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for more awesome live streams from me
Bye,
and Molecule
everyone.
throughout the day. Hope you guys enjoy PSX. This is Danny from DreamBubble signing off. Bye.
Take care.